Hello everybody, this is WarStory video blog. I'm Alex and welcome to my Florida studio, and I have first guest in my studio, and here is Kelly Hicks. Hello Kelly.
Hey.
It's a pleasure to have you here, and you brought some items from your collection.
Yes, thanks Alex. Thanks for having me, and sorry about the white glove handshake, but you know, when you handle helmets, it's always good to try to have something to reduce dust and sweat and so forth. What I'm going to do today is show you several helmets from the collection that start with transitionals. Pardon any modern use of words and things that may sound different, but we've called these transitionals for years. And then I'm going to go to the M35, M40, and M42. So I think that way we can sort of give the viewers just an overview, but enough of a taste of what to look for and what these consist of, and then they can maybe draw their own conclusions. And of course we can do something in the future that
sounds so exciting to me. But you guys pushed us to do that, because a few videos ago in our interview I asked if you guys interested in tutorial about SS helmets. You just can ask in comment section and we're gonna do it for you. You asked, we are here. So let's start from the beginning, because I see the beautiful transition helmet.
Yeah, so this, I got this relatively recently. This is a German M18 SI66 producer. So it's the M18 shell. This is finished in flat black, which tends to be a characteristic of Leibstandarte helmets. When you look online in videos, or you look in the picture books and you see the LAH in formation, very flat black generally. So this one has the M31 liner system, which decades and decades ago somebody must have treated. This came right out of the woodwork recently, like a month ago. So stuff is still out there, by the way.
That's cool.
It's got the, yeah, exactly. The carbine clip M31 chin strap. The liner band is dated 1931, and there's an inscription here that says Sturmmann Knittel, 12th Company SSAH. There were several Knittels in the LAH. This is not Gustav Knittel. He was Unterscharführer at this time, not a Sturmmann. So in 1935, he was in 15th Company as a Unterscharführer. So the flat black finish, and then the helmet is adorned with 100% mint condition CA poker decals. So this is the runic shield. It has a golden luster, no nicks, no problems anywhere. And the party shield, except for kind of a darkish, like a soot, sort of a patina to it, it's 100% and just beautiful. When you rake the light across them and under magnification, you can see all the features that you want to see in an original decal, such as the little crazing and crackling and patina in the crevices and all that good stuff. So this one came in. It's gone into my personal collection because I haven't really had one this nice. And especially I think SI66 in that size and that producer is pretty rare for a World War I helmet.
Oh yeah.
So
exactly.
That's that one. Let's put the offensive side forward. Oh, okay. The next helmet I wanted to talk about, this is pretty unique, but I want to start by saying, as we all know, the SS did not have access to the Wehrmacht supply, recruitment, or financial system. Mm-hmm. They had to fund their own forces. They had to buy their own uniforms and helmets and things like that. When the M35s came out, at one point there was an issue, I forget how many numbers, of M35s to the SS. And this is an example, and I want to show this because they only got one issue at first, so they had to use these things for everything. So they started out as field gray factory. They painted them black for Hitler's 1939. It was his 50th birthday anniversary Nuremberg rally. And then they painted them field gray again to use in the field and in combat. So this helmet is a Quist. It was produced in 1937, which is a little bit rare. It's a 37 dated liner, 37 dated chin strap. It's named to Laub, 10th Company SS Deutschland. And then he wrote his name Laub on this side and also on this side of the liner. Because of the exact way the signature is written, it was possible to find him in the archives, and Ross Kelbaugh, who does a great research job, came up with Laub. I have his whole file, but this was he as a SS-Mann, so as a private. He was later a Hauptscharführer in Nordland, This is a picture of the veteran in like 2009 holding this helmet. So
this is historically important.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And they brought back it.
He brought this back, and he brought back Laub's collar tab. The story was that Laub was wounded in the foxhole, and he was dispatched, and this gentleman took the trophy.
So this helmet and story of this helmet, it's not just a story about this assessment. It's more for us in our days a story about American veteran who brought it back directly from the battlefild. That's so exciting for me, actually.
I mean, it's a symbol of the harshness of war. It's a symbol of the vanquished enemy. You know, I mean, for all time in wars, the winners have brought back trophies from the Romans and even before. I particularly think that the heraldry of World War II, the types, the styles of uniforms and things like that, was particularly attractive for me in terms of design and things.
Like a Porsche, BMWs, Mercedes, and that's...
Yeah, kind of. The other thing is, this. It was just incredible how I came upon this. I got an email from a guy who was the grandson of this gentleman, and he sent a really awful picture of this, but I could see that it's a real helmet. Mm-hmm. And he says, I'm going to go around and try to find the highest offer that I can. So I said, okay, take a month, and here's my offer that I'll pay you. I'll come to you or whatever. And after 1 month, if you're not successful some other way, then I'll go ahead and get it. And that's what happened. He was a great guy, the grandson. He told me more of the story. This gentleman was part of General Gavin, the commander of 82nd Airborne Division.
Oh, wow.
He was part of his bodyguard. He had like 6 guys with Thompson submachine guns, and they guarded him. So interesting history on this. Now, back to the helmet. The color that you see here, it's my particular favorite on SSVTs. You can see the field gray is sort of a pea green Quist factory finish on the helmet. And if you hold it and let the light rake across it, you can see the outline of previous decals. So it came out of the factory as a QDD. It was painted black, and you can see wherever there's a little nick, here's the black paint for when they had to wear black in parades. And then this finish, instead of the milky gray, which is very popular, this is that sort of bluish Feldgrau. The Karl Hermann Frank helmet is actually finished in that same outer finish. So you can see where there's a nick, there's 3 layers of paint. Obviously, the outer layer are the standard CA Poker off-the-shelf issue decals. And these survive very nicely. And the leather, obviously, is in really nice shape. The rim is dated 37. You can see the Feldgrau paint and some of the black paint on the liner band when it was refinished over and over.
And that's so cool, because probably you guys watched my video about dug-up helmets that I found in Russia, and some helmets from the Murmansk area has exactly the same layers of paint.
Yes. And on my website, if you visit, you might see some of relics from Demyansk, Karelia. If they're M35s, you'll see the bluish sometimes, and you'll see the black underneath and stuff. As the paint corrodes and bubbles, you can see this. Mm-hmm. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's really cool.
But to underscore, they only had one issue of helmets for the longest time, before 41, when they had formal access to the Wehrmacht supply system. So they were using these things over and over. We'll put it over here. We'll turn the offensive symbols this way.
So this is the next model of helmets.
Exactly. This is the model 1940. So the Army, the Kriegsmarine, all of them used these. This is obviously badged for SS. It's a Q64, size 57 marked liner. This is the helmet. This is the condition. This helmet was first shown in Andrew Mallow's book, his series on the SS in the 1970s, late 60s, early 70s. This exact helmet, yeah. And it has his collection number right here. So the helmet went to a gentleman in Kansas. I purchased it from him and then sold it to Cody, a very famous collector, and then got it back from him when he was departing with his collection. But the configuration-wise, it's the same as the M35, except the vent holes are stamped, not separate pieces. It still has the crimped rim, but the finish then is the rough texture. In this case, it's kind of a slate gray color for Quist. This is the Quist pattern decal. It's kind of difficult to see on a broadcast like this, but we can do a close-up of it to show the little nuances where the rune leg goes down below the brake in the corner. The rear rune is a little bit bowed, whereas the front rune has it goes in a little bit and has a little curly Q. If you stare at these long enough, you can see these things, but it's not obvious on a glance. This is a classic example, and it bears the name Olich. And the only Olich I could find in the archives 30-something years ago was a guy who was KIA. He was vermissed in Russia, and I think this is possibly his helmet. If it wasn't on his head when he went missing. So.
And the last model of German helmets produced in 1942. Show it to us, please.
You got it. So this is an M42. It's made by ET or CKL in this case, 2800 batch number series with the classic ET pattern runic shield and their typical dark gray-greenish color of Schiffergrau, and this one is basically just untouched. The net was at one time all around it, but through being worn and used, the sharp rim of the helmet broke the net a little bit. So that's okay. It's still a netted M42. Belongs to a close friend of mine, and it's just a prize to find one with the original net.
Oh yeah.
It's like incredibly rare.
And this net soldiers used for like a camouflage purposes.
Correct.
And we can clearly see it in movies, in like TV shows also, how they used it. And actually when I see it, I start to thinking about like Battle of Bulge or something like that.
Yeah.
Yes, about
those. I thought you were going to say we're starting to think about collecting these things, which is also okay. But yeah, this is a very cool example and completely untouched.
And it's pretty obvious for advanced collectors, but for normal collectors and for some of our subscribers, could you explain the difference between decals and why did you mention those decals like Poker, Quist and ET? Because it's very important in helmet expertise.
So on the first one, the transitional, the CA Poker design was the first Reichsfuhrer SS approved transfer design for the SS helmet, and it came out in 1935 from CA Poker. They won the contest, and design was by a Professor Hans Haas, as I recall. So he designed it. It got produced by Poker. This was universally issued, but it quickly became so ET, which I don't have an example here of an ET M35, but some ET issue in 1939 issued with Pokers. Otherwise, they were basically, when a helmet was repainted, it was rebadged with the Pokers. Each factory, however, had its own boutique style of helmet decal. So of the three makers that we know produced helmets for the SS, you've got Quist, ET, and EF. So each had their distinctive design of decal. And I don't have an EF example here, but I'm sure many of you know what that looks like, and we can always pursue that at a later time. But the ET decal is this M40 style here that it has a blockier rune and a little bit thicker border. The Quist design closely mirrors the Poker, which is also on this repainted VT. It closely resembles it, but there are nuanced differences that are like a fingerprint. So when you see it and you compare them, it's like, yeah, that's a Quist, and it's supposed to be on the Q. And it helps. When I wrote SS Steel, what I was trying to do was explain the taxonomy of the makers, and especially the three that actually made them. There was clearly a design that each one used. So that helped collectors go, okay, so I won't get faked out because I'll see the wrong decal on the wrong thing, and maybe this time I'm a little bit better armed with information, and I can avoid being, because fakes are everywhere.
Yes.
They've always been out there ever since the beginning of my 5 decades in collecting. There's always been
that's true. Daggers, them, it was the same, because fakes popped up right after the war when first
Parts.
veterans wanted to buy something to bring home as a war souvenir. So it was very popular from the beginning, and now it's unfortunately getting like worse and worse. But we have like more knowledge, and actually like collectors always couple steps above, a couple stacks above the fake makers, because we know some stuff that we didn't talk about sometimes, and when we see like new fake, we just can see that they created a mistake and like recognize something. So it's
exactly how it is with helmet decals. Exactly. At the show of shows, I saw something I had not seen yet, and there were 4 of us. And we realized that that wasn't real, and so we just kind of put that to memory. But also, I just really appreciate it. Guys reach out a lot. They'll contact me by email or by the website, however, and we talk about decals. They might have one to show me and say, is this legit for this helmet, whatever. And I really appreciate that. And I think it's good that we keep communicating about these, because it's like policing the hobby, policing the population of helmets.
As a German helmet expert, can you tell our subscribers how to avoid problems if they just about to start collecting helmets, like Army ones, Kriegsmarine ones, Luftwaffe, SS, doesn't matter?
There are a lot of really good websites out there, and I think, guys, when you're starting out collecting, look at social media and look at what other people are talking about. I see a lot of times where somebody buys a helmet with a good story, and they bring it and say, okay, what do you have to say about this? And I'm like, well, those decals came out in the 60s or whatever. Or, hey, you hit 100%, good job. But usually the best approach is to start talking to the websites themselves. Talk to those guys, ask them questions, look at what they're selling, check social media, things like that. I mean, there's a lot of chatter out there that is helpful. Obviously, there's some that isn't so much, but there's a lot of information. A lot of it's wrong. You just have to go to the big names, I think, is a good start. I will tell you this: honesty in collecting and of dealers and things like that is very, very strong, very high, mainly because of the internet. The people who, in the old days, they would have something fake and they would sell it off of some little list or sell it at a show and then run away and never be seen again. No, the internet is a big thing, and it's possible to police that.
Oh, yeah.
And without going too far down that track, I'm just saying, look at the best websites you can find, look at what they're marketing, compare prices. None of this is cheap. Starting out with SS helmets is kind of top of the line, I think, but got to start somewhere. And camos are great. Armies and navies are fantastic. Luft are fantastic. So it really is up to your taste.
Oh yeah.
But you got to look to the big marketing and talk to people.
That's true. That's true. Communicate and ask questions, and don't hesitate to text, because it's very important. But if you want to manage buying helmet by yourself and based on your own decision and your own research, it's probably from my point of view, because I can buy original helmets at the market by myself. But what I usually do, I'm comparing stamp, factory stamp on the helmet. I'm comparing factory stamp plus batch number on the helmet also, and there are some catalogs you can see and just check, has this batch number in SS or
absolutely,
exactly.
And that's actually a great point. There are good books out there. Ken N has written some incredible ones on decals.
That's incredible. It's
things like this, and then Brian Ice's reference on. And it's just a collective reference of every batch number. And then he figured out a way to abbreviate the type of the helmets, so there's a key that you can follow. But you can quickly look up a helmet you can look up the number, and if there's a decal that looks okay and it matches up, then you've made a hit. So those are excellent references.
This stuff, if you can reach these books, it's kind of pricey, but it's actually worth it. I mean, every penny, because
a lot of effort went into those things. It's
a
lot of pain and sweat and effort, and I mean the photographic quality is usually good enough, and you can use those you can hold it up and hold the helmet up and go,
exactly.
Like
And sometimes I just receive questions about types of decals. Is it ET or is it Quist? And sometimes it's just easier to send an example from Ken's book, and that's it. So from my point of view, it's gonna be if you are looking for just a factory made helmet, it's gonna be one layer of paint, correct factory decal, because for example in this term like poker, this is a, how to say it, like spare type, correct?
Yeah, issue.
Yeah, this is a type for
refinishing or reusing. A lot, you know, I was in the Army 21 years. There were times that we repainted our helmets or something like that. Because when I was first in, we had the M1 helmet, and then we went to the Kevlar in 1985. Yeah, I know, that puts me way back there. But yeah, you do equipment refresh, and when the Germans did it, a lot of times you'll see a factory reissue. So you'll see an M35 with a rough texture finish like the M40, and no national shield, just the SS runes, for example, and that's how they did it at the depot level. But at the unit level, they'd paint over them in a gray color and put the pokers on them, and off they go. Yeah, it's pretty universal design.
So in the end, I have a couple of personal questions to you. As a US soldier back then, could you tell us, was there something like common with, was there something similar?
Well, we didn't wear any swastikas or any SS runes.
I was raised in Russia, and Russian army is like pretty familiar, like Soviet army, pretty familiar to me. This is kind of intelligence working now. But German army in World War II, after World War II, and then US army are Western countries. So I have a question, was there something similar between two armies or not?
First of all, in 85, they came out with what the army called the Fritz helmet, because it has the dip and it looked like a World War II German helmet. As far as parallels with soldiers, there's always things that soldiers do. They take shortcuts with their equipment, or they modify it or something. And I can't say there was really anything different from what a soldier in the German army might have done in the old days, like rolling up the pant legs or, in a hot climate or just something like that. But the helmets were the main thing that kind of looked similar, and guys would joke about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah. That's like, wow, what's this? During the Cold War, the West German army was the Bundeswehr. I think they still are, but the West German army was the good guys. The East German army was the DDR, and they were under Soviet. But there were many similarities, and in fact, when I was a lieutenant, I had the opportunity to jump with the Germans. So I wore their parachutes, and their jump masters were wearing international orange flight suits, and they had a beard just like yours. And one guy had a pipe. So we did 5 jumps with the Germans and got the German wings, and then they were jumping with us and so forth. I was in the 82nd Airborne for my first year in the Army, so that was when we did that. But yeah, the Fallschirmjägers and the West German Army had a lot of the same equipment we did. We talked about how we used our equipment and what we liked and didn't like about our parachutes. So there was a lot of similarities in that phase, of the modern history.
That's very interesting.
Yeah, it was cool to meet and train with those guys.
And speaking of Europe, you were in Cine show, right?
Yeah.
Did you find something interesting?
Oh, I did.
What did you find?
I found some nice collar tabs. I found a nice bullion skull Raute, some nice early insignia, Das Reich cuff title, things like that. Yeah, so those will. A lot of
that's for sale or for
things will appear on the website.
Oh, cool. Can you show pictures?
Yes.
We're gonna show it like close to you.
Yeah, absolutely. So the first pictures are the sleeve diamond for Totenkopf, and then the second set of pictures are of a early VT style for Der Führer regiment,
That's cool.
and some other odds and ends that I picked up. The show was fantastic, and I do want to give a shout out to all my friends in Europe. A lot of guys that I have only met through email and so forth, and they would pick up a helmet, and we would, hey, I'm friends with so-and-so and all that, and we got to meet up in person, so we were doing selfies and having a good time. Great guys. My gosh, there's so many good guys in the collecting community, America, Europe. If you get a chance to go to the Cine show, if you don't do anything else, you at least are going to have fun with your friends and guys that you never had a chance to meet. For me, that's worth the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. That's a really cool show, and I started to attend it only in 2012. But anyway, it's like 13 years ago started.
I've been in this for a long time. I was kind of surprised. I was looking at some of your videos and things, and I thought, and then Tom Whitman made a remark that he's known you 10 years. And I was like, But that beard, you would see that from everywhere. How do I not know you till the last couple of years?
When I came to the United States first time, it was like first year of wearing beard. So yeah, everybody here knows me.
The beard.
Yeah.
Hey, dude, that's a manly beard. That's a great thing.
Thank you. So thank you very much for visit and this interview. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I have a present for you. This is a t-shirt with Caucasus kinjal, actually.
Nice.
So it's a model 1904. Should be nice.
I think Alex must have some of these in his collection, right?
Yes, exactly.
Thanks, Alex. That's cool.
Yeah, and I think as a former Green Beret, you have to like this color.
I can wear it to the meetings. The color is perfect. It's almost a Feldgrau also, which is familiar. But yeah, that's a great present. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you guys for watching this video until the end. Thank you for press like and subscribe button if you didn't do so yet, and have a good one, and see you real soon.